Soviet Union, the rotting remains of a ruined revolution. A lot of more survivors before they were 10. They'd never know the desire to return home again. My siblings were born in the jungle of Paraguay, but a Canadian hospital was where I arrived. Last child of the 4, I was formula fed. Maybe those chemicals went to my head. The doctors insisted, but my mother was haunted, forbidden to nourish me in the way that she wanted. First birth in the first world, no turning back. Mother's love and a cotton Similac. My sister and brothers were still just kids who quickly spoke English better than their parents did. Packed in an apartment with grandmas and in-laws, the best place they'd ever lived in spite of its flaws. Their childhood memories of loss and of flight were intermittently archived in black and white. They were all just the earth getting wrecked by the plow. That's how they kept traveling from there to now. Sons and daughters, history's cannon fodder. Dutiful lambs being led through the slaughter. Suffering supplicants, unwilling participants. Running as refugees, then enduring as immigrants. Seeking a place to live free of fear. That's how they kept going from then to here. As I grew up, it became clear to me the powerful way in which they loved this country, not because it was big and its beauty was stunning. This was the place where they got to stop running, to begin yet again in a new foreign land with another new language they did not understand. They were good friends, they were good neighbors, and they gave thanks to their Lord and their Savior. At last free to worship with their own congregation. There was even a Mennonite radio station. There was space now for laughter, space for their joy, space for me to be a normal Canadian boy. And it was only much later that they'd reveal stories warily pulled from their minds' inventories. The sentence of intergenerational trauma doesn't end in a period, it's just comma after comma. I'm not sure how you still believe in a God once you've seen your father killed by a firing squad. They were just the earth getting wrecked by the plow. Somehow they kept traveling from there to now. 5 centuries on from the Netherlands, where their ancestors died at the church's hands, unwilling to waver and burned as heretics. Is some of that anguish still stored in my genetics, still pulling my strings like a cruel puppeteer, as that torment endured from then to here? Generation gap was a canyon. Now I look at my son and the world that he stands in. My parents were gone by the time he was 5. It falls to me to keep their essence alive. Nearly a century after his grandparents' birth, what was all that resolve and effort worth? From dirt farms on the steppes to virtual insanity, 2 generations removed from the fall of humanity. It was far too late. Once we understood, it's tempting fate to keep blindly expecting the good. The pieces of progress it's best to reject. The root causes effect on our soiled intellect. For me it's all fraught now and teeming with meaning. If you have children, you may relate to this feeling. We've destroyed so much in so little time. Now we're scavengers picking over the scene of a crime. Can we be postmodern, post-racial, post-gender? Will we ever awaken hungover from history's bender? We're all just the earth getting wrecked by the plow. That's how we keep traveling from there to now. An overwrought age of boundless distraction prevents us from unanimous and effective action. Have we already witnessed a brief moment of piety before descending back into an unjust society, forever uncertain if we can persevere? That's how we're traveling from then to here. Out in the end, it was easy to tame us. Just put screens in our hands, tell us we're famous, put us one click away from everything heinous, and we'll embrace it and hold connectivity blameless. The act of searching for facts was the first fatality. Soon truth's demise was just a formality, till the programmed banality of scripted reality washed over our world with a horrid finality. Deceiving ourselves about how we've come so far, that wherever we end up, it's just where we are. Traded our seat at the table for a job at the bar, and auto-tuned conversations in a self-driving car. We're yearning for meaning, but there's little to find when everything's special, but nothing's divine. If we're not getting ahead, then we're falling behind, and we can never get high, cause we're high all the time. We should be embarrassed if it doesn't scare us. perched on the edge at the end of all eras. We're all just the earth getting wrecked by the plow, and still we keep rushing from there to now. Technology doled out with chilling precision hides truths that lie in our peripheral vision, oblivious to the abyss into which we've been hurled. 3D printing things to pack the landfills of the world, so we don't even notice that our end is so near. That's how we